Hello, friends. It's Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today's December 15th, 2025. Thank you for joining us on this Monday edition of Weaponized News. We have Simon on the program on the special broadcast time. Thank you for joining us. Let me get through the intro here, and we'll bring on Simon and get into all the juicy details for you. We've had, sadly, Rob Reiner has been murdered, allegedly here now, stabbed by his son. Him and Rob Weiner's wife and himself allegedly killed in Brentwood, California, with their throat slit by their son, allegedly. So that's sad news. And then Trump's smart aleck reply, it's just ridiculous, but it is all clown world. We have the White House celebrating Hanukkah yesterday, which actually should be the only thing that we celebrate in America, as White House launches Merrychristmas.gov, and they've also launched Techforce.gov today, as Trump just hours ago has said he will sign an executive order declaring fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction, paving the way for furthering the war on terror. We'll go over all that. We had terror attacks over the weekend, of course. And it was all organic. None of it staged by intelligence agencies. So forget about that. It's Iran's fault, we're told, and that's what we should believe and not question any of it. What else do we got today? We've got shootings at Brown University here in America. We got new numbers coming out of the White House about immigration. And so I say all government data is highly suspect at this time, but that's all we got. So we're going with their numbers. We'll go over the new deportation numbers as of today, according to the White House. We have, like I said, this, the FBI is keeping us safe. I mean, the FBI literally saved our lives more time. We don't even know how they just save our lives. And so today, the Department of Justice and the FBI announced they thwarted a massive terror attack by the Turtle Island Liberation Front, of course, a far-left, pro-Palestinian, anti-government, anti-capitalist group that was preparing to do a series of bombings in California beginning on New Year's Eve. Are we to believe any of this? Well, trust the government, right? They've never lied to us before about false flag terrorist attacks. What else? Yeah. U.S. service members, soldiers killed over there in Syria. Why are we even in Syria? Well, who cares? We got to get ISIS, right? And so get ready to crank up a bunch more war there in Syria. We're bombing the hell out of Somalia. Nobody seems to notice or care. Over 110 times last I saw. And so we're going to crank up another war on terror campaign there in Syria, it seems, with this news. We got Russia, Ukraine latest. We've got China, Saudi Arabia looking like good buddies here now on the heels of, Saudi Arabia just came over here, what, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, something like this, and met Trump at the White House, and they were good buddies. So we're going to sort out all this. And, of course, the Aardvark genocide continues every day. They're stacking bodies, and somehow it's a ceasefire. And they always float the balloon out there. It seems like Axios is the mouthpiece of Aardvark land here for America. And they say, well, the White House has allegedly delivered a sharp private warning to Bibi about killing a senior Hamas leader as it may have violated the ceasefire agreement. It's just so ridiculous. There is no ceasefire agreement. Or they act like there is, but I guess our definition and Aardvark definitions are worlds apart. And with that, let's get to this day in history. Although according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, the word of the year is slop. And so there is quite a bit of slop out there on the interwebs. So, and what does the UN always say? Be careful what you post, or think before you post. That is probably true. Think before you post and spread around a bunch of government disinformation psyops, especially coming out of Aardvark land as we're preparing the new year, a I forget even how many millions. They're recruiting all these pastors. And so we're going to see a propaganda campaign like you've never seen before. And so be nice to them, or else you will be banned and sanctioned and maybe droned in the very near future. And with that, on to this day in history. Let's blast through this quickly. On December 15th, going back to the year 1582, Spanish, Netherlands, Denmark, and Norway adopt the Gregorian calendar, bringing us into the new age of the new world. We're all on the same calendar here in the Western world, apparently. In 1593, state of Holland grants patent for a windmill with a crankshaft, forerunner to the Industrial Revolution there. 1791, on this day, we saw the first U.S. law school established at the University of Pennsylvania. And also, in 1791, the U.S. Bill of Rights is ratified and becomes Amendments 1 through 10 of the U.S. Constitution when Virginia gives its approval. And then the government goes on to subsequently violate all of those rights, you see. In 1810, we saw the first Irish magazine published in America called the Shamrock. In 1836, the Patent Office burns down in Washington, D.C. In 1854, the first street cleaning machine in the United States is used in Philadelphia. In 1918, and this should probably be a national holiday, the American Aardvark Congress holds its first meeting. In 1944, on this day, General Eisenhower receives his 5th star as a general there. In 1948, on this day, former State Department official Alger Hiss is indicted in New York City for perjury. In 1955, on this day, one of my all-time favorites, Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison Blues, is released in 1955 on this day. An all-time classic there. In 1973 on this day, we had quite a few events unfold. First, American kidnap victim John Paul Getty III is freed after ransom is paid out by his oil tycoon grandfather, John Paul Getty. Also in 1973, the American Psychiatric Association removes homosexuality from its list of mental disorders. And in 1973 as well, Pirates of the Caribbean ride opens at Disneyland. And now they're exercising it in real life in the Caribbean, right there off the coast of Venezuela. So we've come full circle to celebrate the Pirates of the Caribbean. In 1983, on this day, we saw the last 80 U.S. combat soldiers withdraw from Grenada. In 1986, did we miss 1986? Where are we at here? In 1986, on this day, CIA Director William Casey suffers a cerebral seizure on this day. Back when they, were a little bit more honest, even coming out of the CIA about, quote, government officials' conditions of health. Now they just run around, make excuses, and lie all day. In 2015, on this day, Mayor of Flint, Michigan, declares state of emergency over contaminated water supplies amid calls for criminal investigation. As far as I saw, they still have contaminated water some 10 years later there in Flint, Michigan. And in 2024, just a year ago, on this day, more than 50 people are killed in Gaza in aardvark airstrikes as the death toll for Palestinians killed in the Gaza genocide surpasses 45,000 people. That's the official story. I believe it's a lot more than that, but that's what they say, and so we're sticking to it. And then with that, here's our segue to bring on Simon and get to all this news for you, the Pixies. Simon, how are you doing this Monday?
Very good, Sam. It's a pleasure to be with you and our worldwide audience once again. Plenty going on to discuss.
Well, the latest, just a few hours ago, announced by Trump, he will sign an executive order declaring fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. Do you see this as being a prelude to a larger war there with Venezuela, Colombia, Mexico, basically all of Central and South America at this point?
It certainly seems very threatening towards the cartels in Mexico, that's for certain.
It does. It does indeed. Rob Reiner, it was announced over the weekend, was murdered, him and his wife, by his son. That's kind of big Hollywood news. Here's Trump's reply to it. And many on the quote conservative right, MAGA, are criticizing Trump over this. Trump's reply to it. And of course, Rob Reiner, meathead, was always highly critical of Trump. He said, a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. What do you think about that reply
The,
to the?
gold, the golden age is upon us,
Mhm.
especially when we're in the shower.
Going back to the old Trump-Russia collusion hoax, do we think? Let's revisit that for a second. Do we now think, upon learning new information, that Russia could have possibly had blackmail videos of Trump being peed on by Russian hookers? Do we believe that could possibly be real, or is that just all Russia, psyop hoax? What do you think?
That particular incident does seem to have been contrived, though who's to say whether or not other incidents went unrecorded, but I'm sure there's more Epstein shenanigans to be revealed in due course.
They're slow dripping it. I'm sure you probably had a chance to see the photos released, and so it's being cherry picked by. But hey, House Democrats, they really, I guess they figure Bill Clinton's done, so they could say it's bipartisan because they released photos of Bill Clinton and Donald Trump with Epstein and his whole crew like that. So they're dripping it out. I don't believe we'll ever see the. Do you believe we'll see the full Epstein files there, Simon?
Not during the course of Trump's presidency, no.
Right, because there's too many people in him, Trump himself, and those in his administration that can be implicated, and they just can't have that.
Not only that, but he seems repeatedly to have said that he's actually done deals with senior Democrats. So there is some kind of quid pro quo that's been involved.
Indeed, let's hear this announcement from Trump just a few hours ago, classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. Here now.
Fantastic job. You guys, fantastic job. Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Great job. What you've done is unprecedented.
So, Simon, with all that military there, it looks like it's going to be a full-on military operation in the war against weapons of mass destruction, i.e., fentanyl.
Yes, and obviously that relates to China as well, because supposedly they're the sort of the precursor chemicals that are then mixed in Mexico before being smuggled across the border into the United States. So this does put a bit of pressure on them as well.
Here's yesterday was Hanukkah, and here's the presidential message on Hanukkah with the menorah right there, and so it's very American. Simon, I know you appreciate the celebration of Hanukkah at the
Do
White.
we have that? Do we have that Polish MP who's currently being prosecuted for anti-Semitism for putting out the Hanukkah display at the Polish Parliament with a fire extinguisher?
We don't have that this year, but we do have Jared Kushner alongside Trump there, who we were promised was not going to be part of this administration, and now he's neck deep in U.S. foreign policy all around the world. It appears.
Mm. Yes.
Merriam-Webster declares slop the word of the year. The dictionary defines slop as a digital content of low quality that is produced usually in quantity by means of artificial intelligence.
I thought that was otherwise known as Israeli propaganda.
Yeah, that should be the word of that. Probably will be if we lived in an honest world.
Well, that would be the word. The word is Todar.
Or Hasbra, right?
No, Todar is the new version of Hasbro. Todar is small amounts of praise done on a daily basis as a religious observance. And that's the new version of Hasbro.
All right. Well, to counter Hanukkah, the White House has put out this Christmas, because we're told there's a war on Christmas, Merrychristmas.gov. So there it is. 12 days of government design history. And so we're now on the 15th, 12 days to Christmas, and we have a government website, Merrychristmas.gov.
Is that flakes of
Flakes of
fentanyl?
It may be. It may be. Let's take a little, and it says no peeking, right? We're going through the days, the 16th, the 17th, elf eyes only. Don't spoil the magic on the 18th, the 19th, elf eyes only. No peeking on the 20th, elf eyes only. Not quite yet on the 22nd. Not quite yet the 23rd, 24th, and the 25th. No peeking. And so that's what we get. Who knows how much the government paid National Design Studio? That's the official government website design studio. So who knows how much they paid for this, but it's all at taxpayers' expense. And they do have at the bottom corner there the temperature at the White House and the North Pole, as NORAD is now announced it will be tracking Santa with its satellites and radar systems this year, again, for, I believe, the 80th year in a row, something like this, Simon.
It seems somewhat repetitive, the 12 days of Christmas. The song is all different creatures and other iconic items, so there's no repetition in it. It's a bit strange. It's not even like advent calendars. The whole idea is there's like a different image each day.
Let me go back to it because they're building up to it. Since today's the 15th and it took a minute to load, that may be my computer, who knows? But here it is on the 14th, and I guess they're going to give us, well, they say American design, history of American design. See America, United States Travel Bureau was created during the Great Depression. And so that was yesterday, and then today is the Great Seal of the United States. So I guess
here we go. So now it is uploading. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, so that's how they're going to give us, like you say, the Advent calendar. They're going to give us one of these days in American history or events.
Are we going to get the kind of like Masonic Illuminati layout of Washington D.C. will be one of them?
Well, here's the Great Seal's pretty damn occultic, if you ask me, with the sun on it. So yeah, we're going to get a lot of Illuminati actually.
Oh, great.
It's good stuff. U.S. government launches Techforce to hire AI talent. The U.S. government is launching an early career hiring and talent development program to bring more technology and artificial intelligence employees to the public sector. The Trump administration has announced today, as one of the many wars that we're in, we're now in a cold AI war against China. Simon?
Oh no, it's full on, and there's some interesting articles about this massive AI center that's being set up in Armenia that supposedly is only going to be 20% for Armenian businesses. It's going to be 80% capacity for American businesses. And this is part of the TRIP corridor, which is this Trump plan to connect um, East and West Azerbaijan with the Zanzibar corridor. And even though supposedly we're backing out of Ukraine, this is part of a plan to try and get Armenia and Georgia to go ahead with the idea of joining NATO. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the AI Cold War, until it becomes fully hot war. Yeah.
Well, the government has announced recruiting Trump administration to hire 1,000 specialists for, quote, Techforce to build AI and finance projects. U.S. Techforce, here's their website by these same guys that did the Merrychristmas.gov. We have Techforce.gov. And so they've launched these two websites today.
So they're not going to outsource it to North Korea anymore. I thought that was part of the previous plan, right?
They say American made. And then here's the answer the call, right? And so everybody wants to be a wirehead, and just it looks like a robot. The graphic they created: build the future of American government tech in a 2-year White House-backed engineering corps with real missions from day one. You can apply right here at Techforce.gov. So very exciting there, Simon.
And a second, let's read through those questions again, because there may be some interesting hyperlinks there. So key steps in recruiting process, skills, educational credentials, minimum experience, political appointment. Okay, keep on going down. Let's see if it says what the benefits are. Employer be located, compensation, projects, agencies. So let's go for no. What is the expected compensation for participants?
Compensation varies based on experience level and agency placement. Annual salaries are expected to be in the approximate range of 150,000 to 200,000. Benefits include health insurance, retirement plans, paid time off, and eligibility for performance-based awards.
And it's just a 2-year contract. That's interesting. Why it should be limited to 2 years?
Let's take a look at the quickly here, the companies. So these are your technocracy companies. The same old characters: Adobe, Amazon, AMD, Anduril, Apple, Box, C3 AI, Coinbase,
Oracle, whose share price is collapsing, Palantir.
Palantir, the usual suspects, right?
Yeah.
That we all know and love here are
With XAI as well.
And IBM. Let's not forget about IBM. They're hanging back in the background, but they've been instrumental in technological computer development over its history. So there's all the big dogs of big tech.
But then click down onto what happens after the employment is completed.
What happens after the employment is completed? Upon completing the program, participants can pursue employment with private sector partners, apply for continued federal service, or leverage their experience for other career opportunities. Literally, the revolving door right here.
Yes, it literally is the revolving door. Yeah, but for a lot of people, or at least those 1,000 people, it may be an entry pathway into some good AI jobs with massive stock options.
Sure, and you could maybe get a monitor mounted on your head as well.
And you'll also get a security clearance, one would imagine. So not only will you be tech qualified, but you'll also have security clearances. So that's a pretty attractive 2-year pathway into some very high, interesting.
Let's take a look at this. Will the program have a political mission? It says no. Techforce is focused exclusively on improving government technology capabilities. All work is nonpartisan and centered on serving the American public through better technology. How is Techforce related to other government technology programs, including ones at the GSA or the DOGE service? While Techforce will coordinate across all of government, it is distinct from other technology initiatives within government, including the U.S. DOGE service and programs managed by the GSA. These programs differ in their mandate structure, required skill sets, and ability to convert to the competitive service.
Yeah. So that's a good find you got there, Sam. Thank you.
Let's go apply now. So there's opportunities there to work for the technocracy. All right. Where are we at here now? What do we think about the economy, Simon? They're telling us constantly today the White House tells us it's going to be the largest tax refund season ever. What do we think of the economy in the golden age?
A lot of people, as they're starting to stock up for their Christmas festivities, are finding that it's a lot more expensive than it was previously. Again. And a lot of the stuff they're being told about how food is cheaper and gas is below $2 a gallon is in fact total bullshit.
It is where I'm at in California, that's for sure. Here's a positive thing. Well, what do they say here? According to the Treasury Department, Scott Bassett, he says the current calendar year-to-date deficit is $1.52 trillion, which compared to a deficit of $1.93 trillion last year, a 21% drop, but we're still over $1.5 trillion deficit of government spending, and we're supposed to celebrate.
Don't forget that deficit is including the tariff money, which Trump over the weekend misspoke and exaggerated 100-fold and said was totaling $15 trillion, which is half the entire annual US economy, right?
Yeah.
It's actually more like 200 billion, and that's going to have to be paid out as refunds as soon as the Supreme Court rules. So that will then jump the deficit back up another 200 plus, kind of compensation or interest as well. So we'll wait and see if it does actually end up being that low.
But we're still running over $1.5 trillion deficit, even in the golden age here now. So the government spending is the problem still, and they haven't done anything. Doge was looks like smoke and mirrors to implement technocracy at the federal level here now, and hasn't saved any waste, fraud, or abuse.
Indeed.
More on the economy, the Trump effect. This is from the White House. They say deregulatory efforts are saving Americans $180 billion. And so they claim that $2,100 per family of four will be saved due to Trump's deregulatory efforts.
2,100 a year or over the next 80 years?
They don't, they're not clear about it. It's just bold claims about the economy.
Sure.
Pretty ridiculous. Okay.
They didn't quantify that as half an ounce of gold per family.
No, they didn't. They did not put it in those terms. Okay, quickly, some good news about the economy, maybe, if you can trust them. I don't, but of course, Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, Epstein's former neighbor, he's talking about this deal today, a major investment with Korea Zinc to build state-of-the-art critical minerals smelter and processing facility in Tennessee that will produce 540,000 tons per year of essential minerals right here in America. So this may be a good thing, Simon. They go on to say these minerals power the technologies that matter most for our future defense systems, semiconductors, AI, quantum computing, autos, data centers, and advanced manufacturing. So everything's getting
Okay,
ready.
but where are the raw materials coming from?
They're coming from whoever we steal them from. No, let's see. They say starting in 2026, the United States will have priority access to Korea Zinc's expanded global production, putting America's security and manufacturing first.
Right. So then I'd want to see whether that's 540,000 tons before it's smelted or after it's smelted.
Sure. Big difference between raw materials and finished product, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They go into more detail here about it. So they're purchasing NiStar Zinc smelter in Clarksville. Anyhow, they do go into more detail here, but in the interest of time, we got to move on. Simon, what's our half-hour break song?
It was just the first 2 minutes and 25 seconds of the last song that I sent you.
Proxy war or sanctions? Sanctions, right?
Sanctions. That's correct.
Play it to 2 what?
2 minutes and 25 seconds.
All right, let's take our quick half-hour break here with a musical interlude, and we'll be back after this song.
Through the shallow path I should have known. I wasn't aligned with the script you had. I couldn't know that what had appeared was a frame of word I should have known. And every small step would just thicken the cracks. So I lay awake with my senses frayed. Another blank slate, but the slab is stained. These calligraphed wounds won't heal the same. Cause I'm a pawn in your twisted game. Through all I gave you wouldn't take. I killed myself over your mistakes. These chemicals just don't hit the same. So give me your sanctions, give me your sanctions. Left disowned. Another misstep through the shallow path I should have known. I wasn't aligned with the script you had. I couldn't know that this had concluded from its origin. Can't let go. So I play your game, but it's fixed for nothing. So I lay awake with my senses frayed. Another blank slate, but the slab is stained. These calligraphed wounds won't heal the same. Cause I'm a pawn in your twisted game. Through all I gave you wouldn't take. I killed myself over your mistakes. These chemicals just don't hit the same. So give me your sanctions, give me your sanctions.
All right, good choice there, Simon. Welcome back to the second half of Weaponized News.
So I should explain that that's in honor of retired Jacques Beau, who, as of today, been put under sanctions by the European Union and banned from doing not only any financial trans, but even traveling to Germany, where he was booked to do an extensive lecture series. This guy is a very, very good geopolitical analyst, as his rank and title would tend to suggest, and he's a regular guest on with Professor Glenn Deason on his YouTube podcast. So it's quite unusual to see a senior Swiss government official being officially sanctioned by the European because he hasn't been following the anti that they want to continue as they prepare to steal another $200 billion to keep the Ukraine going for another year or two.
Well, we got more on that, the developments. Well, Jared Kushner will bring about world peace, so I don't think we have anything to worry about there, Simon. Okay. One last story on the economy before we move on. Roomba, the iRobot maker, that little circular robot that vacuums, that company went out of business. It's pursuing a manufacturer buyout, and they're saying part of the reason was tariffs levied by Trump on part of the materials used to make these little iRobot vacuum cleaners. Comes from overseas, comes from Taiwan, comes from Vietnam, and they're claiming that was part of the reason why they have to file bankruptcy, is they're hit hard by tariffs for the parts for their machines. So get your iRobot Roomba now, because they're going out of business. Okay. Where are we at here in our, well, quickly on public health news here, Simon. Bobby Kennedy Jr. tells us another Maha win. Walmart, the largest grocer and food retailer in the country. We should ask why that's the case, but that's a whole different story. He's thanking them for committing to remove synthetic dyes and 30 other ingredients from their store shelves by next year, sometime next year. What do we think of this? Is this a big Maha win that Walmart is going to remove some of the poison from the food it sells Americans?
Well, were people injecting that food or were they ingesting it?
I think just ingesting it. So we're like one step removed from the big injectables here.
Yes.
Couple
Yeah,
steps
that's
removed, actually.
that penny's still waiting to drop, isn't it?
As
I
we're
did
waiting.
listen to Dane Wigginton's Saturday weekly Geoengineering Watch podcast, as I normally do, and it's sad to note that he's been that RFK Jr., Secretary Kennedy, has apparently let it be known that he's convinced that it is contrails, not chemtrails, that we're seeing in the sky, despite having personally interviewed Dane for over an hour. And so apparently he remains unconvinced that the government is spraying us with millions of tons of chemicals on a daily basis.
Huh. France mandates the miracle of 1 million cows against lumpy skin disease,
Yes.
LSD,
They
amid
started
white.
they started culling them. Then they had to
Uh-huh.
send in the gendarmes. The farmers are all up in arms. Doesn't tend to be fatal. Is fairly disfiguring for the cattle, and so now we're starting to see millions of turkeys being vaccinated against bird flu in the run up to Christmas in Britain, and potentially millions of cows being vaccinated against lumpy bovine disease. France. It's not sure where those vaccines have been made, but there was a massive investment for them to be made in a factory near Melbourne in Australia a couple of years ago. So they may indeed be mRNA.
They're talking about, they say, French health authorities say we will miracle nearly 1 million animals in the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then wonder why we're, yeah, okay, we can't even, everything for public safety here, Simon. Okay, moving on to Department of Homeland Security meme of the day, and they're still calling on self-deport. If you're in the country illegal, go ahead and self-deport. Here's the meme of the day from the Department of Homeland Security. DHS.gov/CBP home. Americans will be home for Christmas. You should be too. Urging illegal aliens or those who have are not of the proper legal status here in America to go ahead and self-deport. And that brings me to these newest.
But I should point out that if you decide to make a sort of fentanyl, you do want to be wearing gloves. See in that picture, I don't think she was wearing gloves, right?
Let's go back and take a look. And they're all white, very racist there, right? So we gotta point that out.
They're not wearing gloves, you see. So it's this kind of attention to detail that we need our technocrats in government to pay more attention to.
Yes, and I don't know why the snowman has orange buttons. That looks like maybe they just cut the carrot and put it as a button there. But anyway, anyhow, yeah, kind of cheap. But I think it's made to be like retro-looking memes. And then here's another meme of the day. I believe they've shared this one today, but they put it out again. Department of Homeland Security, Restore America. And then that brings me to the newest deportation numbers according to the White House.
Does that mean that we're welcoming migrants now?
Restore America. I don't know. They're building
with the Statue of Liberty.
It's being built right now again here, or restored or something. It appears under construction there.
Yeah.
So here's the latest numbers on deportations according to the White House, Simon. Since Trump took office, there have been more than 600,000 arrests of illegal aliens, a historic record. Over 2.5 million illegal aliens have left the country. For 7 consecutive months, Border Patrol has released 0 illegal aliens into the United States. So if we add up these numbers, it's hard to tell because they're not being very forthcoming. But we're looking at 3.1 million deportations.
No, I'm pretty sure that the 2.5 includes the 600,000.
Part of it. It's part of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And just because you've been detained doesn't actually mean you've been deported yet either. So it's a smorgasbord of a cherry-picked data. But there's also reports weekend that no Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security who shot a dog because he wasn't a good gun dog and liked to wear skinny jeans and cowboy hat and greet Trump with fireworks at the Washington Monument. Not the Washington Monument. What's that one in the Dakotas that has all the presidents' faces on it?
Oh man, I can't think of it.
The mountain that has all their faces.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. That's it. Yeah. She's obviously ready to have Trump's face carved into that as well. But it looks like she's going to get her skates on for that because Trump is furious that she's only arresting 1,000 people a day, and supposedly her goal is 3,000. She's trying to blame the head of ICE and CBP, but it's not flying. So it looks like she may be going the way of her gun dog.
We will miss Ice Barbie, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, continuing here. Yeah, and they put out, I do believe it is, now that I look at this again, the 2.5 million illegal aliens, part of that is this 600,000 arrested. But yeah, they say we don't know if they're deported, arrested. A lot have been arrested and let go again. So it's hard to get good government data about the economy, about deportations, basically about anything at this point. And they blame the government shutdown is the reason why we can't get good data. If we could ever get good data, even when the government's up and running fully, I have a hard time trusting anything they say. Call me, critical of powers that be. Okay, moving on here.
I thought you were going to say Shirley.
There was a shooting at Brown University over the weekend here now, sadly. The FBI was on the scene, keeping everybody safe. Brown University in Rhode Island.
Now, my understanding is that there was over 20 people shot, 2 of whom have since died. Somebody was arrested. All of his information was released, and now released because he's no longer a person of interest. So is it correct that they now have no suspect currently in custody?
Last report I saw, they released the person they arrested or detained. The person of interest was released. Yeah, so I guess it's just people running around screaming "Free Palestine" is what they'll claim are the perpetrators. Simon? Segue to
Well,
this
see
story.
there was a story out claiming that the shooter shouted "Alu Akbar" before he opened fire,
Mhm.
though there appears to be no verification of that. And obviously, that was then shortly followed by the large-scale shooting at Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia, that's resulted
Before we
in
get to that one, Simon, the FBI is keeping us safe today here in California. They've announced they busted the Turtle Island Liberation Front, a far-left pro-Palestinian, anti-government, anti-capitalist group that was preparing to conduct a series of bombings against multiple targets in California beginning on New Year's Eve. The group also planned to target ICE agents and vehicles. That's according to Blondie Bondi, head of the Department of Justice.
is that not to be confused with the Turtle Ninjas?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, yeah. Don't be confused. It's a whole different group. 4 people charged with plotting New York Eve's bombing attacks in California, according to the FBI.
And the bandanas and samurai swords were entirely coincidental.
It just sounds so ridiculous. Apparently, the FBI says they've been tracking this terror cell for
Ever since they recruited them.
ever since they recruited them and radicalized them. Here's some of the propaganda the FBI alleges was found at the perpetrator's hideout there. Turtle Island Liberation Front, very intimidating name. Death to America, long live Turtle Island and Palestine, death to ICE. So they've kind of conflated the two ideas there, which I believe are totally separate. ICE here in America, illegal immigration, and the genocide in Aardvark land have been conflated here now into one idea, apparently.
Speaking of Aardvarks, we should let people know what the T-shirt of the week is.
Right now? Okay, let me pull it up here quickly.
I'm sorry to spring that upon you, but yeah, this is a good moment to our tribute to the Aardvark Air Force with beautiful roundel that we used on one of our shows some months. But obviously, this one is another great talking point without being directly offensive.
We're going to have to speak an even thicker code. We're going to have to speak in language we don't even understand soon with the censorship coming down upon us. But there is the store, so go to weaponizednews.com. The first link in the description below there, and you can get yourself an Aardvark t-shirt there with the classic Weaponized News. There's the classic image on the front of the Aardvarks, and then the back with the classic Weaponized News logo there. And we appreciate.
And it should be pointed out, fundraiser T-shirts to help finance your continued X premium status, and also the software that you use in order to broadcast on multiple social media forums simultaneously for your daily show. So people are getting a very, very funny T-shirt. There are 8 other choices available that were all carefully curated by myself and then skillfully created along with your assistance as well. So if people would consider that, there's still time to get it for Christmas. Not that Aardvark celebrate Christmas.
Yes, and thank you to all the subscribers out there and patrons of the store and donators. We truly appreciate it. All the links to buy me a coffee, Cash App, Bitcoin wallet address, and link to the store are in the description below this video. We truly appreciate everyone tuning in to this broadcast as we're bringing you independent reporting and analysis and not following the mainstream narratives out there and trying to get you to think outside of that box. Okay, on to, as you aforementioned there, this horrible shooting orchestrated by Iran, right? That's what they told us in Australia. And so how many are dead now? 15, over 15, right? On Bondi Beach Hanukkah shooting there, Simon.
It's 15 plus the father of the shooter who was shooting with him. um, the usual knee-jerk political reaction saying how firearms ownership in Australia needs to be even further restricted. They seem to be armed with shotguns and hunting rifles, and there was a music concert happening in a park by the beach. They were on a pedestrian bridge and they were shooting from the bridge into the crowd, supposedly hit somewhere around 50 people, 15 dead, one cop dead. Some rather disturbing scenes of a cop cowering behind a civilian vehicle, refusing to engage. Another one 2 minutes into the shooting, which took less than 10 minutes, of a police patrol vehicle with armed officers actually driving right past the two guys as they were shooting at people from the beach, sorry, from the bridge. Some really severe police errors. It would appear a police station that was manned, not a big precinct station, but like a beach report pickpocketing and lost your wallet on the beach and stuff like that, was only a few minutes walk, let alone run or car, from the shooting location as well. They took 15 minutes to respond. So the Australian police apparently are very good at tear gassing and firing rubber bullets at COVID protesters, but not so good when it comes to protesters being or beachgoers being shot at by terrorists. So not a glorious day for the police at Bondi Beach.
We got 10 minutes, and I'm showing the video of the shooter shooting. There's 10 minutes of that video. The link will be at Weaponized News Substack for those that want to
And people can
watch the
see that
whole
there's
event.
a police car literally drives past, but that exact point 2 minutes into the gunfire.
Let's see if I could spot it here. Well, there's reports everywhere. Bondi Beach terror survivor describes how cops froze during 20-minute shooting rampage. I do not understand why, as you explained there, Simon. It seems like the police over there in Australia don't really want to get involved when it comes to a shootout. So yeah, it was Aardvark land. Bibby claims that it was an aardvark that stopped the shooting. Turns out the guy was a Muslim, and so it's kind of hard to frame up "we hate Muslims" narrative when a Muslim stopped another Muslim from shooting aardvarks, right?
And actually, Trump has saluted him. Some chap who had been a resident of Australia since 2006, called Ahmed Al Ahmed, and he tackled the elder of the two shooters, managed to disarm him, was subsequently shot twice by the son and seriously wounded, but has survived so far. So, that was a moment of individual heroism he did not require attendance at police academy for.
He's a better cop. He was a Syrian refugee that arrived in Australia, a few years ago with his parents. And so, yeah, better, more heroic than the highly trained police there in Australia. Okay, wait. There's been a rash now of Islamic terror attacks on German Christmas markets. They were foiled, another terrorist attack here. Now reported by Bild out of Germany that 5 Arabs are allegedly have been alleged to have planned a Christmas attack there in Germany on a Christmas market. And again, we see the police thwart that attack
And
as they did.
bear in mind the Christmas markets in Germany, they're now surrounded by concrete blocks to stop truck bombings or vehicle drive-throughs, and some cities have cancelled them in their entirety. So it is, it's a real issue there. We're seeing that in some British markets. The Edinburgh Christmas market this year has truck barricades all around it. So yeah, this is a feature of European life. But don't forget the Russians that are the threat.
If these damn Russians would quit attacking Christmas markets in Germany. Oh no. Wait, what? Okay. Two American soldiers were killed over the weekend here now, Simon, in Syria, in our never-ending war on terror against ISIS. It's being reported. And so, why
Yeah,
are we still in Syria?
and a third American, a civilian contractor, I believe, was killed at the same time
Two
as well.
soldiers and one civilian interpreter were killed there.
Yeah, and the soldiers were actually National Guard members, and they were killed on the 389th anniversary of the founding of the U.S. National Guard.
Jeez. So ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attacks of this Western intelligence. Like, what do we make of ISIS nowadays? Are they really these radicals? Are they run by Western intelligence? Who are these guys at this point? They're still claiming to be ISIS.
Yeah, I thought their president was now president of Syria.
So basically like Syrian proxy forces or something. The soldiers of the caliphate.
Yes, but this seems to be part of what they call the state partnership program, where individual state national guards partner up with individual countries, either their regular forces or reserve forces. It's kind of like a twinning of cities. You know how like Minnesota might twin up with Berlin, for example, right? And so this is the same kind of program that deploys reservists in the form of National Guard members, you know, to some quite exotic locations, to be honest.
So here's the two U.S. National Guard Army
But they
reservists.
were they were from Iowa, the Iowa National Guard.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, we have that joint venture in Idaho with who was it? The UAE, I believe. And so
That's for their pilot training, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or no, Qatar. Excuse me. I believe it's Qatar.
Yeah.
Syria says it has arrested 5 people tied to the shooting of the U.S. troops here now. As well, they even believe in due process there in Syria. I don't know. As response to this, here's Mr. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. He says the savage who perpetrated this attack was killed by partner forces. Let it be known, if you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief, anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you, and ruthlessly kill you.
Sorry, wasn't that his Christmas message?
That's what he puts on his Christmas cards. Oh man, so we shouldn't even be in Syria, in my opinion, here now, because we have.
Well, remember, in the first Trump administration, he told them to get out. They told him they had gotten out, and then it turned out they lied to him, and they never got out.
I remember, yeah. Chile elects Cast as president. Here they're saying this is a trend, a new trend there in South America to elect right-wing populist leaders as the new president of Chile is allegedly a Catholic Christian conservative populist. What do we make of this guy, if anything? Cast.
Well,
he's white. He's hella white.
Part of the Milei trend, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
you could say that. Even though he didn't take the chainsaw to government. But, okay. I guess we'll come back with some more geopolitical news. Aardvark genocide. Let's go to our second musical interlude.
So this second song, tying in once again with the Ukraine negotiations, is called Proxy War.
And play the whole thing?
Yes, please. It's not that long.
Here is Proxy War, and we'll be back with the last half of Weaponized News, geopolitical news, and more on the genocide that continues in Aardvark land.
DMs, spreading lies about me, that's your strategy. I see your game moving pieces quietly. Building alliances just to tear down me. Every smile circulated, yeah. Every word's manipulated, yeah. You think I don't notice how you play, setting up your chess pieces day by day. But baby, I've been watching every move while you think you're being smooth. This is your proxy war, getting others to settle your score. Behind screens and closed doors, playing puppet master to the core. But I won't be your fucking pawn anymore in this proxy war. Screenshots of fake receipts, building cases against me in the streets. Funny how you act so sweet while poisoning minds with every tweet. I say cool, yeah, that's my way, while you orchestrate your little play. Think you're slick with your social game, using others to spread the blame. But I see right through your show, more than you'll ever know. Cold calculations, false accusations, social assassination. Your specialty, but I'm not breaking, just observating while you're orchestrating your fantasy. This is your proxy war, getting others to settle your score. Behind screens and closed doors, playing puppet master to the core. But I won't be your fucking pawn anymore in this proxy war. Keep playing your little games, I'm above your social flames. While you hide behind your screen, I'm living real and clean. This proxy war of yours just shows your insecure core. Game over, I'm done with your show, time for you to go. This is your proxy war, getting others to settle your score. Behind screens and closed doors, playing puppet master to the core. But I won't be your fucking pawn anymore in this proxy war. You playing your little games, I'm above your social flames. While you hide behind your screen, I'm living real and clean. This proxy war of yours just shows your insecure core. Game over, I'm done with your show, time for you to go.
All right, we're back with the last half of
What
Weaponized News.
do you think of that, Sam? It sounds like a cute girl band, but actually it's got quite good lyrics, doesn't it?
It's a good one, Simon, for sure. Mild manner. This reminds me of the pipe bomber, the healthcare shooter, right? It's always this, shadowy image. A great image there by Mild Manner on their cover for this song. Okay, on to the proxy war that we're living. Is Jared Kushner going to save the world by stopping Russia from invading Europe? Simon, what do you think?
The latest news is that Zelensky has told the Europeans that he's willing to give up joining NATO, and the Czech government has said today that's a total non-starter as far as they're concerned. We obviously have a new Czech government recently come to power, and I mean it's laughable that that's the one concession that he's supposedly making, but he's also saying that he wants to join the European Union by the 1st of January of 2027, so in less than 13 months. And it's amazing how many people constantly but what about Article 5 style security guarantees? And we've talked about this in the past, but I would just reiterate to any of our audience who aren't aware of this, they should look at the Treaty of the European Union, Article 42.7 that's 42.7 does specifically provide for mutual defense and one attack against a member being an attack against all. So if the Ukrainians were to join the European Union, it wouldn't necessarily oblige America or Canada to intervene if they were subsequently attacked again in future, but all of the other member states, of which there are a total of 27, would be obliged. So the,
So
that's
this is
really why,
kind of a backdoor security
yes,
guarantee through the
yes,
EU, short of full NATO membership.
yes, and that's why NATO effectively is the defense force of the European Union, because there's 29 people in NATO or something, and like all of them by the EU. Now, there's a few exceptions like Ireland and Austria because they're neutral, and obviously Finland, Sweden were neutral very wisely, but now they've been to joining NATO, so they're going to get immediately nuked. And it's really a fallacy to suggest that there is any kind of effective separate European defence force. There is a European core. There has been talk of forming a European army, but it's essentially all NATO architecture. And it is because of America's strategic airlift and strategic sea lift capacity that they have been so heavily reliant upon them, along with air refueling and satellite intelligence. And they are many, many years away from being able to replace those American assets. But they are generally concerned that, you know, Trump, particularly with the new national security strategy, if it is indeed the national security strategy, because we hear that in fact there's a classified version that apparently is completely different, that, as you've mentioned previously, suggests replacing the G7 with the C5 to consist of China, Russia, India, Japan, and the United States.
Isn't this what we voted for, MAGA, for old Jared Kushner to be leading our national, our U.S. national security strategy around the world? Here pictured
Well,
in negotiations.
Rubio seems to be solely focused on Central and South America. He's you know, acting for various interventions and coups for the last 20 years. And so Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, who one would have thought would be busy enough causing the Middle East, are doing double duty with the Russians as well. But quite a loggerhead about that the Ukrainians withdraw from the remainder of the Donbass region. But in any event, the Russians only and anyway, Trump has reiterated that he wants very, very soon, but if some change between them, it's going to be an interim season. It's going to be a frozen conflict, whether it's going to address the long-term underlying causes, how we're going to remove Nazism from the Ukrainian armed forces and other aspects of society. Whether or not after a peace deal gets signed, there's a lot of issues that are being wrangled with. Plus the fact that apparently Macron, Merz and Starmer don't want to see break up anytime soon anyway. It's very interesting that Salvini,
We're getting some
who is Georgia Maloney,
feedback on your end, Simon.
really sorry about that Salvini, Matteo Salvini, the deputy prime of Italy, has very much come out against any prolongation of the conflict in Ukraine.
Yeah, we're waiting. Hopefully, Jared Kushner, through his Hanukkah magic, can bring about world peace. We'll have to wait and see here now as they continue the negotiations. Okay, moving on to China, Saudi Arabia. I thought we were good buddies with Saudi Arabia as a well, the king or prince, was it MBS, just recently came to the White House in a big tour there with Trump. But now it turns out China and Saudi Arabia are teaming up on many different issues. Simon?
Yes, so we've previously had the China Arab Summit hosted by the Gulf Cooperation Council, and we have the second iteration of that, which is going to occur in China in 2026. And this is Wang Yi, the Chinese foreign minister, meeting with Prince Faisal, the Saudi foreign minister, to make sure that everything goes swimmingly when MBS goes to China next. Lots of kind of memorandums of understanding and handshaking and general joviality that I'm certain the Trump administration will be extremely unhappy to see, because they thought that they had achieved an understanding with the Saudis to really reduce their cooperation with the Chinese, and it would appear that that has lasted less than a month.
And they also want to force Saudi Arabia to, quote, normalize relations with Aardvark land, and that doesn't seem to be going very well either.
Yeah. So they have some major problems on their hands. And indeed, one of the peace agreements that Trump claimed that he'd broken in the DRC, that is also broken down, as has the peace agreement between Cambodia and Thailand. So of all of his incredible peace deals, we've got no peace deal effectively in Lebanon, nothing effectively in Gaza, total breakdown in Thailand and Cambodia, and also a breakdown in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So at the moment, half of his 8 deals have actually broken down.
And we're bombing the hell out of Somalia, like over 110 times this year under the second Trump administration.
And about to invade Venezuela.
And invade Venezuela, possibly Colombia, and possibly even Mexico, and anybody else that gets in the way, apparently. But I guess he does deserve a Nobel Peace Prize for all of this, because we haven't blown up the world in a full-on global thermal nuclear war yet.
Mm-hmm.
Flashback on this.
But you realize the pause on that is because they're waiting for the START treaty to formally end in February, and then all of the B-52s that were taken off the nuclear strike force can be converted back on, and all of the warheads that were taken apart can be put back together, because they're literally lying in pieces in warehouses just waiting to be reassembled. So then we'll go from America having 5,000 warheads to having 8,000 within a year, and then many more.
We're in a new Cold War, it appears, on many fronts here now. We're building the Golden Dome, though, Simon. Remember, that's going to keep us safe here.
Golden Dome's all part of the Golden Age, and the Golden and the Golden Shower.
Speaking of sanctions, as you did earlier with that Swiss man, we remember, and we reported here, Francesca Albanese out of the UN said U.S. sanctions, travel bans, and escalating personal and physical threats have failed to silence her denunciation of Aardvark land's actions in Gaza.
But it is blocking her U.S. citizen daughter from sending her a Christmas present.
You cannot silence the truth in the face of genocide, she said. That's a direct quote. As they try to silence the truth here now about what's going on. I don't know how. Today was the anniversary. What is it? In 2008, when that Iraqi journalist famously threw the shoe at George W. Bush.
2 shoes, both of which missed.
2 shoes, both of which missed.
And I think that guy ended up being in jail for 10 years.
10 years for that event?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lucky they didn't just execute him, honestly. Okay, back to this. Netanyahu claims that the Bondi Beach hero was an aardvark that disarmed the attacker with his bare hands. But turns out, as we reported, it was actually a Muslim that stopped the shooting there.
I'm shocked that Netanyahu was lying, but now that he's got that out of his system, maybe he'll be able to focus on his next appeal, having been denied this weekend by the International Criminal Court to have his arrest warrant overturned.
Well, they're going to sanction him, right? U.S. will sanction the ICC over this.
Yes, and the employees and the judges.
Everybody involved. Tom Barak is over there, the envoy to U.S. Special Envoy to Syria and Lebanon, I believe. He's over there,
and he's also, I think he's still the ambassador to Turkey as well.
So this guy has
And
a lot of hats.
He is originally, or at least his parent, Lebanon.
They're saying, from the reports I read, they say he leans Lebanese and not aardvark. So that's kind of a strange guy to put there in.
But when you see the statements he makes, like things like Israel doesn't respect any of the borders in the Middle East, and we're not going to arm the Lebanese army to fight the Israelis. We're arming them to fight Hezbollah within their own country, effectively as a civil war. And he has this other kind of bimbo, Morgan Ortagus, who travels sometimes with him, sometimes on her own, who comes out with some pretty outrageous pro-aardvark statements and wears kind of aardvark jewelry, and also casts vetoes at the UN Security Council as well. That they're a pretty despicable pair, to be honest. Those two going around supposedly acting as special envoys in the Middle East, but it amazes me that they haven't been declared to be persona non grata in several countries. But apparently these people are willing to take an incredible amount of abuse from the United States in its remaining role as the hegemon.
Here's U.S. Special Envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism, Rabbi Yudi Kappa Loon, says the State Department plans to create an entire division dedicated to combating anti-Semitism and influence social media algorithms. Let's watch this. So this is what I'm talking about. We can get ready for a giant propaganda campaign and censorship campaign in the very near future here on the internet, as I do believe they gave all those aardvark haters out there enough rope to hang themselves.
The president is sending a very strong message. Think about it. Ironically, I get off a plane. I am the president's representative, and I am walking off with a yarmulke, and I have kosher food, and embassies will have kosher food. It is a game changer. The appointment is a game changer. And it's not about history. It's about education. And how do we educate? Indonesia has 350 million Muslims living in the country. How do we change their textbooks? How do we hold the people in Gaza accountable that if America is paying for UN textbooks and supposedly the changes are made, why are those textbooks not being used, and why are they using their old textbooks? We have to teach people it's not okay to educate your kids to be a martyr. Okay? And we have to hold those countries accountable. How do we battle anti-Semitism on the internet? How are we doing better on algorithms? What companies can we work with? We are going to have a whole division within the office of the Special Envoy to combat anti-Semitism that is going to work on technology and working with the greatest leaders in technology, many of whom are Jewish and have offered their assistance. The office is going to be revamped entirely to be one of the highest profile offices in the State Department, because that's what the secretary wants and that's what the president wants. So we are going to have a very, very strong mandate on education, on protecting people, and how are we able to make a huge difference in combating what goes on.
What do you make of that, Simon? I guess we're now big pro genocide guys.
Yeah, so we're
We'll be
looking forward
censored.
to some government-sanctioned pro-genocide propaganda there. That sounds wonderful. And when he's talking about the Jewish technology partners, that's obviously the Allensons with Oracle, who are trying to buy TikTok, right?
And trying to buy, what is it, Paramount as well. Trying to buy a bunch of media up here now, consolidating it. And ZBS News now run by Barry Weiss, a big Zionist, and so it seems to be consolidating publicly into a total, aardvark control of the media, and it's not even. They're just public about it.
And Netanyahu in the United States, meeting with American influencers, specifically said that was the 8th war front for the Israelis.
Wow. Silver over there. Yeah, you can't say that, Silver, in the Rumble chat there. You can't say that. You're gonna be banned. I'm trying to warn you right now. You can't be saying that stuff on the internet for very much longer.
We're now going to supposedly review all tourist visa applications to the United States. They're going to want to see full access to your social media for 5 years, is what's being reported, right?
Yep. Shakedowns at the border. Let's see, what else do we got? This report, Aardvark Land diverts $68 million from Palestinian community programs to Shin Bet and police. And so it feels like they just keep turning the screws, right, on Gaza with the yellow line, the new borders drawn, and in the West Bank, they continue to approve these settlements, destroying Palestinian property and so on.
And we also had this announcement out on CBN News, which is a Christian organization that is very, very, very pro-Zionist. They had 1,000 Christian pastors and church leaders visiting Judea and Samaria this week specifically, so that they would come back and tell their congregations how wonderful it is that the Aardvarks are annexing even more land in the West Bank. Whilst we're told that it's still the policy of the Trump administration, directly from the mouth of J.D. Vance, that they're anti-annexation, but not actually doing anything about it.
Yep. That's about all we got today, Simon, unless you got anything else.
No, I don't think so. It's good to finish on time. We've got a very good closeout song. This is from Natalie Merchant. It's a live version, excellent audio of her time when she was with the band the 10,000 Maniacs, which definitely sounds like the Trump administration at the moment. And she's singing the song These Are the Days. Once again, carefully chosen. This version, carefully chosen. I listened to several of them, varying length, varying audio quality, very in decade, because she's been around for a while. But I hope our audience enjoys this as a third carefully chosen song, along with our previous ones, Sanctions in honor of Colonel Jacques Beau, and also Proxy War to close us out for this evening. Wish you well with all of your broadcasts for the rest of the week. Please, I encourage the audience to have a look at our selection of very, very carefully chosen t-shirt images. And bear in mind that it is going to a worthwhile cause. We hope they agree. And I will be with you again on Monday next week.
Sorry, I was on mute there. Thank you, Simon, for your input into this edition of Weaponized News. You had a very kind comment there from Bob. He says that you should be on Galloway. He says, and how Hinkle be some go-to guy on geopolitics over Simon. Come on, Galloway. So he's saying you should be on there on Galloway more than Hinkle because you're a better analyst on geopolitical matters than old Hinkle. So high praise there.
Thank you, thank you very much, Bob. But it's a fairly low bar there.
And with that, thank you everybody for tuning in on this Monday edition of Weaponized News. Thank you, Simon, again. Everybody go to, what is it, Merrychristmas.gov. Maybe, possibly, if you want to join up with the technocracy in the government, check out, it could be a lucrative opportunity. I don't know, Techforce.gov. But I would be fully aware about what I'm signing up for, getting involved with these characters. But it does seem like an opportunity. Everything's going that way. It may be some of the few and only jobs left in the near future here now. So Techforce.gov, as fentanyl is declared a weapon of mass destruction as we prepare for war. And with that, as always, everybody do your own research, peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Monday evening, and we'll be back here with more Weaponized News tomorrow at the regular time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern time. Again, thank you, Simon, for special appearances on Mondays. We look forward to seeing them next Monday. Here is 10,000 Maniacs. And yeah, it does seem like the Trump administration these days. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in.